The distress signal traveled for 3 weeks before it reached Earth's outer listening posts. By then, the Velkan colony on Tertius Prime had already fallen silent, its 2 million inhabitants presumed dead or enslaved by the Kreshna Dominion. Ambassador Lyra stood before the Galactic Council, her translator device struggling to keep pace with her rapid speech. "The humans cannot help you," Council Arbiter Thon declared, his 6 eyes blinking in dismissive sequence. "They have been members of the galactic community for only 20 cycles. They possess no significant military capabilities." Lyra's mandibles clicked in frustration. The Velkan had been humanity's first contact species, the ones who had welcomed Earth into the galactic fold with open arms and genuine friendship. Now they were dying, and the Council offered only bureaucratic delays. "You do not understand," she insisted. "The humans are primitives," Thon interrupted. "They still engage in warfare among themselves. Their ships are crude. Their weapons are chemical-based projectiles and simple energy beams. The Kreshna would annihilate them." What Thon and the Council failed to understand was that humanity's continued warfare wasn't a sign of primitiveness. It was a warning. Admiral Chen received the decoded Velkan distress call in her ready room aboard the UNSS Indomitable. She read it 3 times, her jaw tightening with each pass. The Kreshna had hit Tertius Prime without warning, their plasma lances reducing cities to glass. They took no prisoners except for those they deemed useful for labor. The rest were eliminated for efficiency. The Council had deliberated for 2 weeks. 2 weeks while the Velkan died. Chen opened a secure channel to Earth Command. "Sir, requesting authorization for Operation Warborn." Fleet Admiral Okonkwo's face appeared on the screen, his expression grave. "The Council has denied military intervention." "With respect, sir, I'm not asking the Council." A pause. Then Okonkwo's features hardened into something that resembled carved stone.
"How long until the fleet is ready?"
"The 7th, 9th, and 12th are already at the rally point. We can jump in 36 hours. Make it 24. And, Admiral, the galaxy is watching. Show them what humans do for their friends." The Kreshna Orbital Commander was the first to detect the spatial anomalies. 16 tiers in the fabric of spacetime opened simultaneously around Tertius Prime. From each tier emerged ships that defied everything the Kreshna knew about human technology. The UNSS Indomitable led the vanguard, a 3-kilometer dreadnought bristling with weapons that made the Kreshna's plasma lances look like children's toys, railguns capable of accelerating tungsten rods to a significant fraction of light speed, missile pods carrying warheads that could crack continents, point defense systems that could track and eliminate thousands of targets per second. Behind the Indomitable came the carriers, disgorging fighter craft that moved with impossible agility. The Kreshna had never seen piloted fighters before. Every species in the galaxy considered them too dangerous, the G-forces too lethal. But humans, it seemed, had spent centuries perfecting ways to keep their pilots conscious at accelerations that would liquefy other species. "This is Admiral Sarah Chen of the United Nations Space Service to all Kreshna vessels." The transmission echoed across all frequencies. "You have committed acts of genocide against the Velkan people. You have exactly 5 minutes to power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded. Failure to comply will result in your immediate destruction." The Kreshna commander's response was to open fire. It was the last mistake he ever made. The human fleet moved with a precision that spoke of countless hours of training, and more disturbingly to those who would later review the battle logs, extensive real combat experience. Railgun rounds punched through Kreshna shields like they were paper. Human missiles, equipped with adaptive AI, jinked and weaved through point defense networks that had never been breached before. And the fighters swarmed like angry hornets, their pilots pulling maneuvers that registered 40 Gs on sensors. The battle lasted 17 minutes. Not a single human ship was lost. Of the 63 Kreshna vessels in orbit, 57 were destroyed. The remaining 6 surrendered when the Indomitable positioned itself between them and their only escape vector. Its main railgun trained on their reactors. The ground operation was even more brutal. Human Marines equipped with powered armor and weapons that ranged from conventional to terrifyingly exotic, dropped from low orbit in hardened pods. They hit Kreshna positions with overwhelming force, liberating Velkan prisoners and executing what would later be termed aggressive peacekeeping operations. The Kreshna ground commander attempted to execute hostages as leverage. The human response was to deploy strategic directed energy weapons that vaporized his entire command center from orbit, precise enough to leave the building next door standing. When Ambassador Lyra's ship arrived 3 days later, she found Tertius Prime liberated. The surviving Velkin, nearly 1.4 million, were receiving medical care from human field hospitals. Kreshna prisoners were being held in secure facilities awaiting trial. Admiral Chen met her at the landing pad. "Ambassador, I'm sorry we couldn't move faster." Lyra looked at the human admiral, at the weariness in her eyes, at the weight she carried. "The council said you had no military capabilities." Chen's smile was cold. "We don't have military capabilities, Ambassador. We have military traditions stretching back 10,000 years. We have doctrines written in blood across 1,000 battlefields. We have weapons we've spent centuries perfecting because, unlike most species, we never stopped fighting." She paused. "The council mistook our friendship for weakness. The Kreshna made the same mistake." "What happens now?" Lyra asked. "Now? Now the galaxy learns a lesson that humans learned long ago." Chen gazed up at the stars where her fleet maintained station. "You don't threaten our friends, because we didn't join the galactic community despite being warriors." Her eyes hardened. "We joined it while still being warriors, and we never forgot how to be what we are." In the halls of the Galactic Council, Arbiter Thon watched the footage of the Battle of Tertius Prime for the 7th time. When Ambassador Lyra returned to present humanity's formal report, she found the council chamber packed with representatives from every member species. "The council owes humanity an apology," Thon said, his voice carrying across the silent chamber. "We saw your conflicts and called you primitive. We saw your weapons and called you crude. We failed to understand that your species has not been preparing for war. You have been refining it into an art form." Lyra clicked her mandibles, a Velkin gesture of satisfaction. "The humans have a saying, Arbiter. We are not warriors because we love violence. We are warriors because we love peace. And some things are worth fighting for." The council voted unanimously to censure the Kreshna Dominion and to formally recognize humanity's military capabilities. More importantly, they voted to establish mutual defense treaties with Earth. Aboard the Indomitable, as the fleet prepared to return home, Admiral Chen stood on the observation deck, watching Tertius Prime rotate slowly beneath them. Her XO joined her, following her gaze. "Think they'll remember this, Admiral?" Chen's reflection smiled in the transparent aluminum. "They'll remember. And the next time someone threatens our friends, they'll think twice." She turned away from the viewport. "That's the thing about humans, Commander. We don't just win battles. We make examples. And we never ever abandon our allies." The message spread across the galaxy faster than any ship could travel. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, and they had brought with them the thunder of war and the promise of unwavering loyalty. The Council had called them primitive. The Kreshna had called them weak. The Velkin simply called them friends. And that, as humanity would prove time and again, made all the difference.